It's October, it's horror month, it's 2019, and I am taking a small break here for today, and I am going to be talking about something that we did back in August. So way back in August, we went to Chicago for the Flashback horror weekend. Now, I didn't even know this existed until about 4 or 5 years ago, and I found out about it, and I've always wanted to go to it because I've never been to a actual horror convention before. We've been to Dragon Con like 4 or 5 times now. We went to PAX, which was a video game convention in Texas. We went there twice. So then we finally decided, okay, we're going to it. We went to it in Chicago, and this is what happened. This is my impression of the first horror convention we went to. We get there, and they have like a gigantic like dome there, like a huge, I don't know, convention center. And I'm like, holy cow, this thing's going to be huge. I mean, it was just like this big, gigantic dome. So we parked in the parking garage. It literally took us about 30 minutes to walk from the parking garage through like the sky view, whatever you call those things, you know, above the ground, over to the convention center. So we finally get over there, and there's hundreds of people walking around, and I don't see anybody dressed up in a horror outfit. Because we got there really early too, because I wanted to get there early because I didn't know how bad it was going to be, or how many people were going to be there. So we got there probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours before it actually started. And so we get to this big convention center, and all these people are walking around, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. And we went up to the desk, and I started asking the person about the Flashback horror weekend, and she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea. I've never heard of it before. I'm like, well, is that not what this is? And she's like, oh no, this is a sports convention. I was like, what? So all these people were there for some sort of huge sports convention, because sports. And I was like, all right. So then we went upstairs, and there was another section of this gigantic dome, and it was a Halo convention. And all these people were going in for the Halo convention. I'm like, all right, well, where's the Flashback weekend? So I walked back downstairs again, and the woman that I had been talking to walked up to me, and she's like, oh, you're in the wrong building. It's across the street, over in the hotel. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, in a hotel, all right. So I thought, you know, it was a big, extravagant, huge show at this convention. So we walk across the street, go in this hotel, and basically what it was is one hallway. One straight hallway, and it had doors going down this side of the hallway. And on this side of the hallway was just like a wall and bathrooms and whatnot. And that was our horror convention. One little hallway. That was it. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So at first impression there, it was not impressive at all. I was like, I was expecting like Dragon Con. I wasn't expecting it to be as big as Dragon Con, obviously. But I was expecting maybe 1,000, 100,000 people. Maybe, you know, close to that or something. But in reality, no, it wasn't anywhere around there. I would say maybe, and this is the top end, maybe 400 people were there. Maybe 500, somewhere around there. Maybe even 200. I mean, somewhere. It wasn't a whole lot of people, is what I'm saying. And especially since this took place in one hallway. And I was like, oh, all right. I mean, basically, I went there to see Svengoolie because I'm a huge, huge Svengoolie fan. I've always wanted to meet Svengoolie. And I know, because on his show, he shows that he goes to this horror Flashback weekend all the time. And he interviews celebrities, and he does, like, costume contests and whatnot. And that's my main reason, was going there to meet him and get his autograph and to, you know, see his show. And that was my main, you know, having a big, huge extravaganza with all the horror icons would have been cool, too. And they were there. I'll get to that in a minute. But not exactly what I was expecting. Okay, so after sitting around for about 3 hours, they finally opened the doors. And like I said, there's a whole line of doors going down this hallway. And I thought, all right, well, each door is probably going to let you into, there's going to be a celebrity door, there's going to be like another door to go into, maybe meet Svengoolie, he might be in there, and there's going to be another door that you go into that might have some merchandise. Well, when the doors opened, you walked into this gigantic room, this huge, gigantic room, and it had a ton of merchandise. And that was the convention. I mean, literally, that was the convention of us just walking around looking at the merchandise. That was the whole convention. Unfortunately, that was it. But the thing with that is, you know, I'm a collector. Obviously, if you watch my It Figures show, I collect a lot of action figures. And I've seen all these action figures and cool stuff online all the time, but I can never find those figures in the store. You know, there is no Toys R Us anymore. And Target, who's supposed to be selling these figures, do not sell those figures. And there's no place around here really to find any cool action figures unless I order them online. So this gigantic marketing place was awesome to me, really. It really was. I'm walking around seeing all this stuff that's... Whoops. Speaking of knocking things over, I've seen all this stuff that I only seen online before, and here it is in front of me. I was like, oh wow, this is so cool. I've always wanted to have this, you know. And we bought a lot. I mean, I'm not going to joke. We did. We bought a lot of stuff there. And I was actually going to review all of it over on It Figures this year for Horror Month, because we bought a lot of, obviously, horror figures. But just the time it took to do 31 reviews every day of the week, just didn't have the time to stop and do It Figures as well. But this is one of the things I got. Eventually, I'm not going to but eventually I will review it over on It Figures. And it's The Fog. It's made by NECA, and it's a cloth figure from the movie The Fog. And I've always wanted this thing, could never find it anywhere, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, man, I have to have it. And actually the good thing about this convention is they didn't overprice their stuff either. I mean, if it's like 30 bucks online or whatever, 25 bucks online, it's going to be the same price there. And they didn't like up the prices for stuff, or most of the stuff anyway. And then there was a lot of things there that was original for that convention. Like people would make stuff, and they were like, they had some wood carvings, and people would burn pictures in the wood carvings of horror movies, and they had, you know, posters and that or drawings and paintings that they did themselves, and jewelry, and, you know, just on and on and on. They had stuff that of horror movies, and it was awesome. I mean, that was really great. I loved all that. Surprised me. I wasn't expecting it to be more. 90% of it, I would say, it was probably merchandising for the whole convention, and 10% of it was meeting celebrities. I did get to meet Svengoolie, so I did. I finally got to meet the man himself. I got in line for him, and I had him sign a chicken for me. And I wanted him to sign a couple more things, but he's like, no, I mean, they won't let us sign more than one thing, so I can only get my chicken signed from him. But it was cool to meet him, and also we got our pictures taken with him. And he actually signed it for free, too, so that was really awesome of Sven to do that. Didn't even charge for an autograph, but we did. I believe we paid for the photo of my wife and myself and Sven standing together. I would have liked to got that signed. If we go back, I'll probably have him sign that as well, maybe next year. He also had a 40th anniversary panel there where he came out and he talked for over an hour. And I am actually going to show that on here. So it may not be the best footage ever, but if you weren't able to make it, and I'm sure he'll show it on the show eventually of him talking about his 40th anniversary, but this will be the whole entire hour of him talking. So if you want to see it, it's going to be on here soon. So the celebrities that were there were Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger, obviously, Tony Todd, who was Candyman, the woman that was in Candyman, I can't think of her name, she was also there. They had all the Night of the Creeps people there, and that was really cool. They had Tom Atkins, which we met, got his autograph on an action figure. And they had the director there, and Sean Clark, if you ever watch any of our Scream Factory reviews, was there. And he was a super cool guy. He really was. He was an awesome guy. I got to talk to him, and I was telling him about how much I liked his Horrors Hallowed Grounds on the DVDs. And he was telling me he was about to be flown off to somewhere to do the My Bloody Valentine stuff. And he said there's going to be a ton of stuff on My Bloody Valentine, which is one of my favorite films. I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. And then I told my wife, I said, he's really awesome. You need to go up and talk to him. So she actually went up and talked to him, and he gave her some free stickers and stuff. So he was a really awesome guy, really down to earth, somebody you could just sit there and talk to horror movies about. Really cool guy. I was really impressed by Sean Clark there. Tom Atkins was great. I mean, we got our picture taken with him too. So then there were some sort of like lesser known people. The woman from Return of the Living Dead 3 was there. And we did get her autograph, because I loved that movie and I loved her character in it, so we did get her autograph. And I think that her autograph was like $20, $25, I don't remember exactly what it was. It wasn't like crazy expensive. Tom Atkins, I think his ran around 40, I think, 25, maybe 30. I don't remember what it was. It wasn't like, super crazy expensive though. So then Robert Englund was there, and I'm like, all right. And then Heather Langenkamp was also there from Nightmare on Elm Street. So I was like, all right, I've been to these conventions. I've seen Robert Englund. I've never gotten his autograph. I said, we're at Horror Flashback weekend. I'm going to get in line and get his autograph. So I get in line to get his autograph, and we're standing in line, and it's not moving. There's probably about 100 people in line. We're just standing there. And somebody comes walking up, and they're like, oh, did you hear his autograph is $100? I said, what? Are you kidding me? And they're like, no, it's like $100 to get his autograph, and another like $50 or $75 to get an autograph and a picture. So it'd been like $175 something dollars. I think some crazy amount of money to get a picture. And I was like, I like Robert Englund, but I don't like him $100 worth. So yeah, we got out of line, and I walked up to the desk where he was signing his stuff. And there's a guy sitting there, and I asked him, the guy that was right next to him, I said, how much is it for an autograph? He's like, oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. Even though he knew what it was, but he wouldn't tell me how much the autograph, which kind of made me mad. I was just like, it's $100. You're not telling me. So, I don't know. Well, we got out of line, and I did not get his autograph. So then when we went in to get our pictures with Svengoolie, Tony Todd was there before us, and there's a wall, so you can't, and they're taking pictures on the other side of the wall, so you can't see, the pictures that they're taking. And he walked out, and he was supposed to be in like full Candyman outfit, and he had a coat on, and he had like a really bad rubber chest piece that was like probably from Spirit Halloween or something that showed his, rib cage. It was really cheesy. But we got to see Tony Todd in full outfit, and that was kind of cool for 20 seconds. He came out and he went through the door and he was gone. And besides Svengoolie, the other celebrity we went there to go see was Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell from The Evil Dead, obviously. Ash Williams is the character he plays. I've been a Bruce Campbell fan as long as I can freaking remember. And yeah, he was one of the people I was like, okay, I don't care how much he's going to charge for his autograph. I want to meet the guy. I want to get his autograph. He could have probably charged $100, and I would have probably paid it because I'm such a huge fan of his, and I've always wanted to meet the guy, like I said. Also that was there was Sam Raimi. They were both in the same room. It was Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell. And Sam Raimi was asking $75 for his autograph, and Bruce was asking $50 for his. So I really wanted to get Sam Raimi's, but I was just like, all right, well, we can't afford both of them, and I wanted to meet Bruce. I seen Sam Raimi sitting over there at the table, and the line moved pretty quick. It wasn't bad. It moved pretty fast. And we got in there, he was sitting there, and he's wearing sunglasses, and, he shook our hands, and he's like, what's your guys' names? And we told him, and he's like, oh yeah? And so he's like, so where do you guys work at? And that really threw me. I was like, well, I work at a hospital. I wasn't expecting that question from Bruce Campbell. And my wife is like, I work for Enterprise Company. And he's like, oh, really? So you guys have like real jobs or something? And I was like, yeah, we pretty much do. And he's like, oh, wow. And he was like shocked that we actually had real jobs. And then I had to tell him the story of when I went to go see Evil Dead 2, I said that I was such a huge fan of the first Evil Dead that I had to go see it. So I begged my parents to go see it, and it was rated X because of the violence. So they took me to go see it when I was like 13 or 12 years old or something, and he's like, wow, that's a really terrible thing for you to see when you're that young. Or he said something like that, and he shook my hand. And I was like, yeah. I was like, well, I had to see it. And then my wife told him her story, and she's like, well, I snuck in to go see Evil Dead 3, and I told my parents I was going to go see a Julia Roberts movie, and then I went to go see Evil Dead 3, and he's like, you know that? I can approve of. And he shook her hand. So he was a really cool guy. He really was. He actually sat there and just talked to us, too, which kind of surprised me. I was expecting to go up, here's your autograph, goodbye, and go to the next one, but no, he actually kind of had a conversation with us, and that was awesome. Super, super cool guy. I would definitely meet him again and get another autograph from something, probably, just to meet him again. And because that's how impressed I was with him. He's a really awesome guy. And that was pretty much all the big celebrities that were there. I mean, there was a couple other smaller celebrities from smaller films. Like I said, Return of the Living Dead, and there was a couple others. I wish I would have gotten the director's autograph from Night of the Creeps. I actually went back to go do it, like at the last day, and he was already gone, so I didn't get his autograph. But they had the female actor there and the two guy actors there from the movie. Like, they had the whole cast there. It was really cool to see them and everything. So my overall impression of my very first horror convention is it's not what I expected it to be. But I actually had fun. We went there for 3 days. It was much smaller than I thought it was going to be. But in a way, that was fine, because you weren't getting trampled by 100,000 people like Dragon Con, where there's 200,000 people there and you can't move. And it was a much smaller, contained con, I guess you would call it, convention. And I kind of liked it because of that. And next year, Tobin Bell is going to be there from the Saw films. Now, way back, I think when Saw 3 came out, I bought a poster that the Red Cross was doing a promotion to buy a poster made out of Tobin Bell's blood. And I actually bought that poster made out of his blood. So if we do go back next August, I want him to sign that poster. That would be the one reason why I would go, to get that poster signed. So, I don't know, I would like to go again. It was fun. It wasn't like, I wouldn't call it like the best convention I've ever been to. But it was cool to be around other people who were there for one reason, because they loved horror films. It was great to be surrounded by those people, and it was. It really was a great time to be there. Would I go again? Absolutely. Yeah, like I said, I would love to go again next August. And now that I am more prepared what it is, I think I would actually have more fun going to it. I probably would not get there 3 hours early and wait to see what's happening. I would get there on time and, you know, enjoy myself a little bit more. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I would absolutely go again. If you are in the Chicago area, or if you have any sort of little horror event, go to them. If you love horror movies, it may not be like the biggest con in the world. It may not be the 100 million people there, but it's okay because of that. It really is. It's a fun, small gathering, and I absolutely enjoyed myself. So there it is. There is my experience for the very first Flashback weekend. And I didn't film a whole lot of it, as you've seen, because I didn't want to spend the entire convention behind a camera looking through a lens. I wanted to actually experience it, you know, just being there. So I didn't film a whole lot of stuff. So that's why there wasn't a whole lot of footage here of everything. But next year, if I go, I will probably film a whole lot more. That's it. Thank you for watching. It's Horror Month. It's 2019. Please hit that subscribe button. We are doing 31 straight days of horror films every single day of the week. It's wrapping up here pretty soon. I just finished all my editing, which is why now I am able to do other stuff like this to put on here. Kind of try to break it up a little bit and put little different things in there. And sooner or later, this thing here is going to show up on It Figures, so you don't want to miss that. Check out The Fog, and it's featuring light up eyes, tattered fabric, and a sword and a scabbard, it says. So, looking forward to opening this. And I have like 3 or 4 or 5 other figures I bought from that convention that I'll be doing soon on Horror Month. So, again, thank you so much. Thank you for all the maniacs out there who has already subscribed to the channel. If you have not subscribed to the channel, you know what to do. Is you hit that subscribe button, you hit that bell so you get the notifications when we go live on live streaming and we upload new stuff and all that jazz. And keep watching horror films. It's October, it's Horror Month, and I love all of you maniacs out there, and thank you so much for supporting us and watching all this craziness that we do.